Rendition of President Duterte to The Hague, I think, like many of our countrymen, we were quite traumatized. In my case, it felt like a repeat of a nightmare that occurred, and I saw only my father being taken to Hawaii. Kaya medyo masama ang loob ko noon at hindi ko na naisip yung kampanya. Pero ang sabi ni Senator Robin, pati ni Vice President, ang sabi nila, ang utos daw ni former President Duterte, umuwi na kayo at mangampanya. Kaya biglang nangampanya at biglaan lang naman yung ad na yun. Naalala namin kasi ako nakatutok sa hearing, nakatutok sa budget, nakatutok sa kung saan-saan. Abay, sabi nga, hey, mangampanya na tayo at biglaan kami nag-taping ng the following day. Strangely, at least to me, the Vice President said that it has to be black. Sabi ko, what kind of political ad is in black? What are we going to do? Why black? Because black is the color of the country today. And I suppose she's right. And as a result, we shot the entire thing dressed in black, which I thought was rather grim, but at the same time, it's entirely appropriate. So that's what happened. Itim. Ipaglaban ng tama, itama ang mali.
Sir, itong pag-endorso ni VP Sara sa inyo, paano ito mapapalakas ang chance na manalo kayo sa darating election?
Well, alam naman natin talagang pinakikinggan ang ating Vice President, lalo't andito tayo sa Cebu, sa Mindanao. Malaking bagay talaga itong malaking tulong. Pero hindi naman yun ang inisip ko. Talagang natutuwa lang ako kasi hindi nagmamaliw ang aming pagiging kaibigan. Sabi ko nga, kami naman ang magkaibigan nung umpisa dahil sa 2019, siya nangampanya para sa amin halos araw-araw. Nangangampanya kami sa lahat ng kasuluk-sulukan, and it went on even as DepEd Secretary. We ended up going to a lot of last mile schools, and I was full of admiration for her commitment and hard work. Thereafter, ang palagay ko, ako nagpahamak sa kanya eh. Kasi rinicruit ko nga, hindi ko na makakalain na magkakaganito. And kahit ano pa ang nangyari, hindi naman siya nagbabago, nanatili pa rin siyang kaibigan ko. At kilala naman niya ako, kilala ko rin siya, kilala namin ang isa't isa, hindi ko siya bibiguin, hindi rin niya ako kailanman binibigo, nagpapasalamat ako lagi.
Sir, pahabol, ano po yung nagkausap na po ba kayo ni President Bongo Marcos tungkol sa pagkalas mo sa partido at ano po yung sinabi?
Ang nangyari kasi dyan, noong October pa, sinabi ko na talaga na magiging independent ako. At yun nga, I only joined the rallies where we had friends. For example, Dalawag rally because my son was the governor and he was telling me, you better come. So I joined them, but I made it very clear from the very beginning that I would be independent, thinking that something bad would happen. May masama akong kutob eh. Parang I was quite restless and anxious about the campaign, that it would somehow redound into very bitter and unpleasant politics. And true enough, it did become entirely toxic and quite beyond my little nightmare. It became very, very much worse. Hindi ko naman akalain na magiging ganito kalala, na magkakaroon ng impeachment, magkakabulastugan, pati yung budget, pinakialaman, hanggang sa tinangay na nga si dating Presidente Duterte na may sakit na, matanda na, nako, dinala pa kung saan-saan, ni hindi man kinilala ang husgado dito sa Pilipinas, ang laking insulto sa ating magagaling na huwes, sa mahuhusay na abogado. So, I didn't think it would get this bad, but I had a very bad feeling that things were going to deteriorate along the campaign season. And true enough, it became very much worse than I'd expected. And yun nga, balik na lang ako sa pagiging independent at iikot-ikot. Mas maigi ng ganon.
Sir, tungkol po sa usapin sa pag-aresto kay former President Duterte, ano po yung takbo ngayon sa partido?
Well, actually, linunsad ko yung investigasyon kasi napakataas na ng emosyon ng lahat ng tao, no? At talagang hindi na natin malaman kung iiyak, magagalit, magwawala sa kalsada, ang lahat ay talagang wala nang maisip gawin. So, naisip ko, ano kaya para malaman at mapanatag ang lahat, mag-imbestiga tayo so that we would know the truth. Let's find out exactly what happened because we don't understand this. It's entirely a case of first impressions. And as the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, I launched this campaign. Unfortunately, it apparently put the government in a very bad light. And as a result, nagtampo yung kapatid ko sa akin na inisyata, hindi ko na makakalain, malay ko ba na ganun ang sagot nila. Kaya nga ako nagtatanong, hindi ko alam ang sagot eh. At lahat ng sambayanan nagtatanong din. Akala ko naman, maipapaliwanag nila maigi. Imbes na kabukuhan na iba-iba yung tanaw, iba-iba yung lakad, hindi magkatugma-tugma yung mga batas na sinasabi nila, pati ang petsa, hindi magkatugma-tugma. Kaya eto nga, nandito na tayo, pero at the end of the day, it's important that we learn the truth, that this is no longer repeated, that our laws and particularly our Constitution is upheld. This is a real insult to our functioning judiciary as well as our very committed and hardworking judges and lawyers. So, ang nangyari ngayon, nasa third hearing ako. Alam naman ninyo, yung first hearing ko, dun nga, nagalit nga. Yung ikalawang hearing, wala nang sumipot. Nobody turned up. I went solo. And it was a little ridiculous. Senate President Cheese refused to sign the subpoenas in the first hearing, refused to sign the subpoenas in the second hearing, and then he talked to the executive secretary who apparently said, let's change the date, paltan yung petsa, tapos 10 lang ang sisipot. Sabi ko, okay na. Tapos 10 lang daw. O sige na nga, okay na rin. Lahat okay na lang para lang matuloy. So natuloy nga yung third hearing and I think quite a few of our citizens watched also. And unfortunately, nauwi kami sa contempt kasi yung Ambassador Lacanlilaw, harap-harapan naman ng nagsisinungaling. Sobrang bakakon naman, ibang level naman. Kaya hindi na natiis ni Senator Bato at pinakontempt. Kaso, rinilis kagad ni SP at mukhang natawagan, biglang may show cause. Nagulat nga ako because there's no show cause in any part of the rules of the Senate. So I was quite surprised in this intervention in what should really be the power and function of the committee. So, nandyan tayo ngayon. Ngayon, nagtatanong kung may fourth pa, kung may fourth hearing. Sina Senator Bato, gusto pa rin ng fourth hearing, pati sina Senator Robin, sina Senator Cayetano. Ang problema ko, sino ang testigo? Wala akong testigo eh. Lahat nagdi-deny na alam nila na nandito na pala, ilang buwan na nandito pala yung mga ICC na investigator, lawyer, security expert, interpreter. They were all here from October and perhaps they're still here. I'm not really sure because I heard that they have been here for months on end. At hindi ako sigurado kung nandito pa nga eh. Lahat sila denied to death. So, di ko alam kung sino pang tatawagin. Ang balita, may mga alalay daw galing sa Congress. Paano nila makukuha yung mga police blotter, yung mga CCTV footage, yung mga highly confidential medical records, and even bank accounts that are clearly covered by bank secrecy. Natangay nila lahat yun, nakuha nila lahat yun. So clearly, they had help from high officials, and they were cleared for all kinds of information. Isa pa, yung eroplano. Walang nagsasabi, walang sumisipot para magsabi sino ba talaga at ano ba yung eroplanong yan. Ginagamit ng presidente natin, ni Pangulo Bongbong, yung eroplano, di ba? Ginagamit niya talaga yan. So, yun pa rin ang problema natin, yung eroplano. Nakita natin, ang sabi nung una, the Office of the President chartered the plane and paid for it. So many were asking, so is it owned by the Office of the President? Clearly not. It's a privately owned vehicle and it's not even authorized to accept charters. And many were asking also, paano na-procure yan? Alam naman natin yung procurement system ng gobyerno, tagal-tagal. Ilang oras lang na publicize, bid, tender, award, at na-procure kagad. So, wala naman sumasagot. Yan ang problema ko. Hindi ko malaman kung sinong tatanungin. Kaya I'm perfectly willing to carry on and get to the bottom of this. The problem is, this really isn't political. Ang problema kasi, may kasunod pang warrant to. Mabuti kung si Presidente Duterte lang. Pero tuloy-tuloy to eh. Ang susunod na warrant, yung mga pulis, 5 pulis. So it's been said, and there have been rumors that in fact, Senator Bato, General Albayalde, General Karamat, General Danao, and General Leonardo will be following in the next arrest. And then there are several arrests more down the list. So it's quite alarming kung tuloy-tuloy ito. The other thing, of course, is that there are over 1,000 Filipinos imprisoned overseas. Yung mga OFW natin, abalang-abala. Takot na takot eh. Kung hindi daw napapagtanggol yung mga Pilipino na nasa bansa, kung hindi napapagtanggol yung dating Pangulo, paano pa sila makakauwi nito? So maraming nagtatanong, ano ba yung prosesong papauwi?
Sa last ano po yung reaction niyo sa sinabi ni Hanilet na pag-ek-ek naman yung ginawang probe sa Senado tungkol sa pag-aalis ng yung dating Pangulo?
Well, okay lang kasi lahat naman talagang very emotional na hindi ko naman minamasama. Ang akin na lang, sana makakuha tayo ng katibayan. Ipakita natin, I mean, this all ends up in evidence. If we are able to derive evidence, testimonies, documents, that will prove that, in fact, the Constitution, the law, and even the Rome Statute itself was violated in many, many ways. Perhaps we can set things to right, and even if President Duterte is already in The Hague, he can be brought back and face justice here in our country, as he should, being a Filipino citizen. That's become very, very clear. Yun din ang hinaing ng tatay ko. My father died of a broken heart because he couldn't come home. He just wanted to be home. And he said he was ready to face any case here in the Philippines. Parang umalingaw-ngaw sa akin. It echoes and re-echoes in my memory. And I don't want this to be repeated again and again. The cycle of revenge and of vindictiveness in Philippine politics has to stop. Nauna kami noong 1986. Pagkatapos noon, alam naman natin, si Presidente Erap, si Presidente GMA, lahat yan nakulong. Hininto ni Presidente Duterte. Bakit nag-umpisa ulit? Yan ang hindi maganda. Alam naman natin, nag-uumpugan ang mga makapangyarihan, ang nasa pwesto, ang mga politiko. At the same time, yung mahihirap, nananatiling mahirap, hindi tinututukan ang tunay na problema ng ating bansa, ang kahirapan, ang taas ng bilihan, ang kakulangan ng trabaho. We continue to ignore the real problems of the greater mass of Filipinos.
Kumusta po yung relationship natin sa ating pamilya kahit na?
Well, nahihirapan ako dahil napakadaming humaharang. Nakailang taon na kami na hindi masyadong nag-uusap ng masinsinan. Nakikita ko siya. Kailanman, hindi naman kami nag-aaway. Ang problema lang, parang nasa maling landas na yung administrasyon. Hindi na natutukan ang ating mga farmers, ang agrikultura natin, nakatiwangwang, puros imported na lang. Marami yatang kumikita sa importasyon. Mas masaya sila doon kaysa sa ating mga nagsasaka, ang ating mga mangingisda dito sa Cebu. Hindi ko alam kasi puros imported na yung mga bigas natin. Ang sabi nga, imported na ang bigas, imported pa ang hustisya. Kaya yan ang problema natin. Maraming humaharang, maraming ambisyoso, ang nakatutok puro 2028 ang nasa isipan nila. Ako naman, nakalimutan ko, 2025 may eleksyon pala, kaya mangangampanya pala ako. Well, if I had a message, Holy Week has begun. In the old days, when my father was alive, he would, every Holy Week, disappear for one entire week in a retreat, in a monastery, somewhere in Baguio usually, with priests, together with all his cabinet, together with his generals and other top officials. For 1 week, they wouldn't come down. We didn't see them. They would be very, very silent. No one was allowed to speak. They fasted with very, very meager food, and they slept very, very short hours as a measure of sacrifice. perhaps it is time for all of us, not my brother only, but myself and all of those in public office, to step back and reflect on the direction of our country, and if we are truly serving our people as we have sworn to.
This is what you are doing for this Holy Week, Sen.
Sorry?
This is what you are doing for this Holy Week.
Well, for this Holy Week, I'm going around still. Nakalimutan ko nga mga panya. Pero I am actually going with my mother, and we'll probably visit the churches and do all the traditions. My mother doesn't like this business of retreats. She's too Bisaya for that. She wants to socialize. She wants to go around and see people. So we'll probably do the Visita Iglesia together, but I will certainly dedicate a few days to just reflecting in prayer. I think it's important that we all do as a nation and determine if this indeed is the path we want to take. Continuous vindictiveness, revenge, and destruction of those who are not allied with you. We should take a prayerful moment.
Ano na lang masasabi niyo or ano na lang yung mabibigay yung mensahe to the people na mainit pala ngayon sa mga politika po?
Well, siguro, alam ko, malapit-lapit na ang eleksyon. Umiinit masyado, katulad ng panahon. Siguro, maguminahon tayo at bigyan tayo ng kaliwanagan ng ating Panginoon na alamin ano talaga ang aming trabaho bilang public servant. Ano ba talaga ang serbisyo para sa ating mamayan.